Sandy, if I say the name Sean Estes, what comes to your mind?
Uh, I, since we close to the All-Star game, I figured the All-Star game, but that was an incredible moment when you play in your own ballpark and you have a chance to, with the game on the line, and hit a home run. That's a remarkable memory that you keep for the rest of your life.
I talk to you a lot, but we never really talk about your career, and that's not the type of person you are, and you love this game. It's America's pastime. The All-Star game is the one time everybody comes together, and you probably have one of the top 3-4 moments in All-Star game history. Now, you said to me earlier you just closed your eyes and swung the bat, but have you ever been able just to take a step back and realize like how cool that moment was for you and for the city of Cleveland?
It was an incredible moment. I mean, I cherish that for the rest of my life with my family. My son, he was on the field with me to receive that trophy. The most important thing is getting an opportunity with the game on the line in front of your hometown crowd, and that's. I was just excited to be in the All-Star game in your own ballpark, but the fact that it was a close game, and we have the chance to deliver like that, that's any kid's dream, playing in the big leagues. I was very anxious and excited to get in that bat. And he showed in the first two pitches that I swung out two balls in the dirt. And I said, man, you got to breathe and step back. And at the point that I hit the home run, I didn't even realize I had a changeup. All I know is I saw the ball coming in slow motion, and I felt like I was under control in that particular swing.
That year, though, that was you. Like, in that year, and I think I forgot until I looked up, you had a hitting streak going on at that time. How did you differentiate from that?
So I remember that when I got that hitting streak, I didn't realize I was in a hitting streak kind of like halfway in. Nobody even say, oh, you're in a hitting streak. You hit base hits and stuff like that. Okay, but I didn't realize because in that hitting streak, I think I pinch hit twice. So like I could have lost that, but I was not. I'm there about winning game. I don't care. One time Grover go, I need you to pinch hit here in this situation. Or her tries to go, hey, you had a hitting streak. And I go like, I don't care. Right. So I go out there and I finally, and I got a base hit against Randy Myers, I believe, was in Baltimore to extend the hitting streak. But it was one of those, when you feel in the zone and you see the ball and you have a plan and you're healthy, I feel like I was like that pretty much the whole year.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I was going to say, what do you think helped lock you in that year? Health obviously was a big part of it.
Health, well, my left knee I felt pretty good. My left knee, I had like a microfracture 2 years prior to that. And that was the first time that I felt like, since 94, that I felt like my knee was in a good enough shape that I already adapted to a different batting stance, because I had to switch my batting stand from the early 90s to 90, 96, 95, 96, and 97, because every time I stepped, if I stepped too hard, the leg would grab, and it's a painful experience. But that's part of the adjustment, especially as a catcher. I tell Albie all the time. I say, I wish I could know how to catch on one knee then, because I would have I was able to survive a little, much better.
All right, let's detour. You mentioned catching with the one knee. Mm-hmm. You've seen the whole progression. I love when we went to Puerto Rico, and I saw that wall at the one with all the Puerto Rican catchers. There's a pride to catching from where you're from. Mm-hmm. When we see guys, because you know the old school guys, I won't say any names, when they see a catcher down there, they go, oh, no. Help explain some of the positives that are coming from having catchers now come from the knee.
Well, I was not an advocate of catching in one knee until I started understanding some of the metrics they have in the game right now with the framing. The first first of all, Tony Pena used to catch in one knee. Sometimes he used to do it with the guy in third base. I said, man, you're crazy. Yeah. Ball in the dirt. He had good hands. I was taught to block, to be in a conventional position. I was able to do it the right way. I felt like I was able to manage. But it tend to wear you out a little bit if the games are long. But the games are longer then. Catching in one knee, so depend the biomechanicals of how your body move. There's some guys that can do it, some guys that can't. That's why you see guys that are hybrid still right now. But it does take the point of reference of the umpire of where the lower strike zone is. So if you don't have, normally when you catch in conventional position, if your glove goes below the kneecap, automatically umpire feels that's a low pitch. When you take that point of reference and when you work fast upward under the ball, that reference is no longer there. So he had to guess. and a lot of time you might be able to steal a few strikes, and also keep you healthier and stronger through the year than the other way. If you can identify that you can do it, that's fine. There's guys that block better in one knee than conventional because they're late going to the ground, balls in the dirt, and they're able to shift. But you have to do it the right way. There's many times that guys kick out so far they don't have no mobility, and those are the part you have to work on. I feel like not everybody can do it, but if you can do it, it's going to help you, gain more strikes and also help you stay healthier through the season.
I just read something that we've got the least amount of pass balls in the league in like the last 20 years, and they think it's because guys are down like that and not doing the conventional.
Well, this year
so far.
Well, also there's pitch comp, so it's very difficult to get crossed up.
Right.
So in the past, when you use regular sign, pass balls and guys that throw knockout ball, obviously you can't compare those eras. It's different because you get crossed up more often, and guys that throw knockout balls, you're gonna get more pass ball. There are minimum about guys that throw knockout balls now. Maybe one or two guys. Before there were a few. Right. So it's very difficult to compare those stats, and also like I say, difficult to compare offense because in the past the zone was a little bigger. Now it's 17 inches, and there's more velo now supposedly, but there was velo then. But people like the command over velo.
Yeah. All right, let me go back to All-Star game because there's two things I got to get out of this before I let you go. The experience of having it at home, we've had it a second time in Cleveland since you've had that. How, for the guys that are going to Atlanta this year, what are the main, because you said you were anxious. How do you make a guy not anxious in that moment in time?
Well, I was anxious because he was in Cleveland. But the ones that I played in Chicago, I was a young puppy we played with the Cubs when I was a rookie. Yeah. I was just having fun out there. And that's how you got to treat it. It's an exhibition game because it doesn't count in your stats. So you go out there and have fun. You're going to be around the best players in the league, enjoy it, have your family enjoy it with you. And but when it was at home, I was a little anxious because I feel that responsibility. I got to I had to produce in front of my hometown. You're only going to get one at bat. Right. So, as a backup, Puch Rodriguez was a starting catcher. But, that's what I was anxious about. I want to make sure that I had a good performance from my hometown crowd, kind of like Beaver did.
So we've got two MVP awards. They both happened in Cleveland. And the one thing I wanted to bring up, yes, your son got to come out, but you started the swag for catchers that day, right? The chest protectors.
Well, I started that before that. The guys used to tell me, man, you like a very fashionist catcher. You have when I signed with Rawlings gave me open house to design catching gears and stuff like that. They did a great job. We used to bring in some sketches to do the things that we want to do. I did different plays, different colors, and that particular chest protector, it was a softball chest protector.
Really?
Yeah, it was not a baseball one. So they made it a softball chest protector into a baseball and put all those the American, kind of like the Captain America kind of stuff, stars everywhere. And I also did it the year after when we played in Colorado, which that one game my brother was the MVP. Yeah. But I remember all the other catchers. Hey, well, how do you get your gears like that? I go no, I talked to Rawlings. We designed it. They were open and it still looked good to this game.
It would. It does. But now every catcher has stuff, and we do all these different things. And I know you've always said, because who's the guy somebody in Atlanta where they're playing at the racetrack? They've got one that looks like a racing gear, and it looks funny, but it's still catcher's gear. But nobody started that until back then.
Yeah, but before it was difficult because you didn't have the machinery and the resources to put prints on anything. Before it was hand painted. So these people now with all the resources they have. You see the shoes now. You come in with some shoes like I wore the other day these Jordans, Russell Westbrook shoes, just to change a little bit. Yeah. And they were like, everybody, where you got those shoes? I bought them online, and they have different. The player weekend started that. Remember that player weekend? Yeah. Everybody can wear. They give the opening for the players to wear their shoes differently. So the coaches have started getting into the same thing. So we have different shoes for different occasions.
So you're superstitious at all? Does this game make us superstitious?
Well, when I had the hitting streak, I used to go to Denny's every night that I could go to Denny's. I used to take my son with me.
To Denny's?
Denny's, yeah. Denny's.
We better find some.
I had to get a Grand Slam breakfast. We got Grand Slam breakfast every time. So I must have, let's say, On the road, I didn't do it, but I must have like 15 Grand Slam breakfasts during the hitting streak.
There you go. When I say Steven Kwan, 2-time All-Star, it's the first thought that comes to your mind.
It's crazy. It's crazy. It's hard to say that out loud. Definitely an honor, but yeah, I think still wrapping my head around that one. That's cool.
So go back 10 years. Kids sitting here watching this right now, knowing where you're drafted, knowing who you played with, knowing the obstacles that you had to overcome. What would be some of the things you would say? What was the first couple obstacles you had to overcome yourself to get to this place?
Yeah, confidence is number one. I used to compare myself to others a lot, and when you do that, you're always going to fall up short. So I used to get so caught up in that, seeing how I can get to that level, and then if I did, then somebody else would obviously be better, and it would just continue this like cycle of anxiety. So just telling a younger self, just keep going, just focus on your strengths. If you're the best version of yourself, then nobody's going to be able to stop you. But if you look to the side and see that people are going to be better, or if they're going to be better, there's always going to be somebody better. So just go with that.
When you think of your Oregon State self, I love that when like College World Series is going on, I love that guys are dedicated to their schools, but there's a reason why you are. What happened there that helped build up the confidence in Steven Kwan and Steven Kwan?
Yeah, exactly that. Just focusing on the mental game. You know, when I'm at the plate and I see 3 different pitchers, I think something's probably wrong, right? My heart's beating out of my chest. That was an opportunity to really kind of restructure everything that I thought on a baseball field, see what kind of thoughts I have at the plate, what I really wanted to focus on, really, even if I wanted to play baseball at all. That was honestly really important, just as a man and a baseball player, to be where I am today.
But you wanted to be a baseball player.
Absolutely, yeah. And I know it took some soul searching for that. I look in the mirror and be like, do I really love this? Like, do I love the grind and failing so often? And I came to the conclusion I did, and I'm glad I stuck with it.
It's funny you just said that. There was a kid in our hotel last night, came up to Matt and myself, and he said, he's a college baseball player, and he said, how do I get to where those guys are at? And after we talked about working hard and going through your work every single day and staying diligent upon that, I was like, you got to be arrogant about yourself, but not arrogant outside. Does that make sense? Like, you got to believe in yourself more than anybody else, but you can't carry that around and put that out there.
That's what we say. Is like, you got to be confident, but you can't be cocky. You got to believe in what you do and like how you do it, but you can't belittle people. You can't patronize, can't condescend anybody. Like, people are too smart for that. And I think the game is so wide and such a big fraternity that if you turn one person off, then that spreads. The baseball family talks. So I think you treat people right, you go about your business the right way, the game will reward you.
All right, last year you were in Texas. You had a bunch of your teammates with you. It was an awesome moment. Got to lead the game off against Skeens. This year you won't be leading off. You'll get to be there. How do you plan on taking it in this year?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing is I'm not going to hit BP. One of the cooler things was after I was done with BP, I got to just be in the outfield, and that's kind of like, there's no media allowed on the field, so that's kind of, you can kind of take a deep breath, look around, see where you're at, talk with the people that you play against all these series, and just, share some stories. Batting practice was really hectic because when you're in the foul lines, media can grab you, different people can start talking to you, and that was just really overstimulating for me. So I'm just going to hang out in the outfield and just kind of enjoy myself.
People in Atlanta, he doesn't want you guys around him. Now, I'm glad you're saying that, though, because I've been around you long enough. I get what you're saying. You're in this really cool moment that every kid wants, but there's cameras and microphones everywhere. How do you even deal with that in everyday life? Because I think that's a part of dealing with this every day is a part of this, right?
Yeah, and I do a terrible job of saying no to people. I'm trying to work on that and kind of work on my boundaries. But yeah, it's difficult, and I think it's one of those things. If you can kind of remove yourself from the situation, then you kind of let everybody down instead of letting nobody down. And I think that's kind of what you have to do to protect your peace.
Let's have a real talk.
Yeah.
You tell me no, you're not letting me down. But if you put in your mind that you're letting people down, then you build that up, right? Sure. I think at some point in time, and I think we all got to be careful with this. Myself, I'm saying this. Because at times I walk around like, hey, I want to help you talk about you. But if that doesn't make you best at 7 o'clock, then I'm not helping you. You got to take that into every situation, though, right?
100%. And there's opportunity cost with everything, Like, I got to get my wrist right. And, there's this – I believe you. You want to tell my story, and I appreciate that. But if I have to cut my rehab down, then I'm not going to be the best product out on the field. And
your story doesn't mean as much.
Exactly. Nobody's going to care because then I won't be playing. Like, it's cause and effect with all that.
All right, which bat are you going to use in Atlanta? I'm not messing with you, but I pay attention.
Yeah, no, the puck for sure. The torpedo was a cool one, but it just hurt my wrist too much. I think the long lever on that was really just straining my wrist. they recommended kind of having a little more hand load, and that kind of takes the pressure off the wrist. So I'll be doing the puck knob just so my wrist doesn't get flared up.
Are you glad you took the opportunity to try a different bat? Because a lot of hitters, once the season starts, aren't going to try other things most of the time.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's also like not let myself be superstitious with a lot of stuff. I think a lot of people don't change because they're afraid that this is the bat that got them to where they are, and it's like, no, it's not that. Like it's the arrow. You know what I mean? Like. And I think I'm glad I tried it, so I'm not thinking in the future like, oh, like, did I leave some meat on the bone with this? Like, no, I tried it. The science backed it up too, so I don't regret trying it. But, and I can still go back. When the wrist feels better, maybe my swing will kind of be in a better spot with that. But, yeah, right now it's nice to have a puck to lean back on.
Last thing, I'm not even talking about home runs, but I always loved the symmetry. I watched you and HOU walk out in like the 5th or 6th inning yesterday. And I've seen that picture a million times because of the blessing I have of being around this. And I just think about how you used to look at HOU and how you've been able to take little parts of HOU's game and put them incorporate in yours. What will it mean in Atlanta when they say both of your names and you're standing on that line with Jose Ramirez?
Yeah, it's gonna be surreal. Yeah, just being in the same sense as him is just truly a blessing. But I'm excited to get out there. It's gonna be something I'll definitely remember forever.
Atlanta, one of your favorite towns or no?
Only been once. I don't know. And I mean, the stadium's not even in Atlanta, so hard to say. I mean, one of my best friends is from Atlanta, so I kind of like that as well. So, but I haven't really experienced the city, so I'll be looking forward to it.
You're not going to experience it because you're right. It's so out away, but the city will come there.
Yeah. No, I'm excited. I'm excited.
I am too. I'm coming.
Oh, okay.
And I'm not coming to be a media guy. Hey, okay. So you can't diss me because I'm just coming. I'm bringing the kids. We're going to Atlanta. My sister lives there. We're going to experience it. And we love Atlanta.
Okay, I guess we're going to experience it together then. Let's get it. Let's get it.
Yeah. Also, I got to ask, is Chicago like your home now when we play in Chicago? Like your home away from home? I'm just curious.
Yeah, it's definitely becoming one of those. Especially summertime shy, you can't beat that. So we're going to be back there in a little bit, so I'm excited for sure.